Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this episode of my E30 touring restoration, we'll be doing a complete sound deadening installation. So even though in the last episode I completed the respray, I know it's a bit of a shame to cover it up, but I'll be taking you through the steps of how I completed it. So throughout this video, I'll be using the Killmat 2mm sheets and some aluminium foil. I will link those in the description. Now for the start of the video, I'll just slow everything down and kind of take you through the steps. But it's as simple as if you've ever done any kind of patchwork repairs, it's the mocking up, cutting out, checking as many times as you need to until you get the right size. So with the studs, it's as simple as push it through, cut a little relief, and then go from there. Now I found it best just to peel back slightly, set up to line it correctly, and then you can kind of work it as you go along. What you need to make sure is any of the lower spots, they need to be pressed down first because it's quite easy to tear. However, it does quite well in the opposite direction where it's compressed. So then with the rollers, I got 3 different sizes. You kind of start with the larger size, get most of it down, and then you can start to work with the smaller ones and kind of work in all the contours. So that was an easy one, a nice full section. Working on now some edges. So what I was able to do is kind of press in the edge, and then you can simply remove that and then cut through it on the witness mark. So now as you see with this one, you see the serrated areas of the sheet before I've rolled it down. You want to make sure that that is all squished in because that gives you the most adhesion. So for anyone who's noticed already that I'm going to be covering more than the factory, the reason is I've weighed the original that was removed, and with how much I've put in, it's only about 10 kilos heavier. And for me, road noise is something I really want to eliminate. So I feel like covering the whole car, understandably, not all areas are important, but I think it should make a vast improvement. So hopefully you got the hang of that. So now I'm just going to leave the time lapses on. This took me 3 goes of about 4 hours each, so it's a pretty long process. So now with the aluminium foil, this step is definitely not necessary, but for me, it just kind of covers up my mistakes and really blends in with the finish, so it's pretty hard to see. All it's doing there is just covering up any of the gaps that I've made, because sometimes the contours do alter and you might just get a few bits wrong. So I'm not going to be using the factory engine bay kind of sound in the insulation that used to go in there, mainly due to clearance issues. So what I'm doing here is covering the inside completely of the bulkhead. And this was definitely one of the trickiest areas, so many different contours and shapes and lack of access. But luckily I got it all done, and hopefully it does make an improvement. Now there is a piece that used to go over the top here, but unfortunately that got smashed up when it was removed. That was so frail, so I'm just going to be replacing it with this stuff. So I've been making sure to not cover up any mating surfaces or anything like that. One of those is the pedal box. So just quickly mocked that up just for reference, and then I was able to work around it. Now it's not perfect, but it definitely covers up the area. So after a 3-day stint of pretty back-breaking work due to the lack of access, it is now complete. Well, nearly complete. There's a few areas that I did miss. I will get around to doing those, and then we can move on to the next job. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.